We'll turn on the microphone. There we go. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Monroe City Council meeting. This is a regular business meeting for Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. The time right now is 7 p.m. I'm going to ask that our clerk, Wyckoff, please call the roll. I don't need to turn on your microphone these days.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members present and establishing a quorum are council members Gamble, Davis, Fulcher, Kinney, Hanford, Fisher, and Scarborough.
All right, thank you. And before we get started, I'm looking at Zach. Zach, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
Oh, we can't hear you. Anyway, we'll take that as a good evening back to us. Okay, I'm going to ask the Councilmember Hanford, please lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
I pledge my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. First item on the agenda this evening is under announcements and presentations. I have a proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month. I understand that there's somebody here to receive that this evening. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read in the bottom part of the proclamation. And the month from September 15th to October 15th, 2023 is Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a time where a number of countries in South America and Central America are celebrating times where they had left rule by Spain. I am asking that this month that all residents in our community learn more about the rich Hispanic culture, traditions, and history, and celebrate the contributions that they have made to our country and our community by people of Hispanic heritage. And the Heritage Month observance for 2023 is Todos Somos Uno, which means we are all and we are one. And so we're encouraging people again to connect with our Hispanic heritage and community here in town. So thank you very much for coming. Did you want to say a few words, or?
I'm sorry for anything today, but
okay.
I just want to say thank you. I think it's an honor to be here and represent a lot of Hispanics that represent also the community. It is indeed the Todos Somos Uno, which means that we're all just one. If we work together as a teamwork and get to know each other in diversity, we get to learn different cultures, different backgrounds, different talents, different skills. I think it will be interesting to learn from a Mexican. If they have a Mexican in the United States, there is all types of Latinos and Hispanics living in this community that share different values and also share a hardworking life and great economy in the city of Monroe. So I'm very grateful that the city of Monroe acknowledges the Hispanic community. Please do get to know your neighbors, do get to know the Spanish-speaking community. We are great people. We work hard. We have beautiful families, and we treasure also our faith and also very strengthening values. So please don't be afraid to talk to us and really get to know us besides just the news or rumors or anything. But please do get to know us. We're happy also to be part of the community because Monroe is our home. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to invite the council and to come on up, and we'll present this to you. And I think Deborah will take a picture. So, why don't you come on up this way?
I think James Reyna is here too.
Oh, yeah.
James.
Oh, a picture.
Wait a second.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Wait, this is right here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, thank you. The next item that we have on our agenda this evening is also under announcements and presentations. It's item 4.2, State Auditor's Office Entrance Conference. And I'm going to turn to our Finance Director, Hassert. Director Hassert.
Good evening. So tonight we have the state auditors are going to be joining us and they are going to present to you about our audit that is actually currently underway, even though we're calling this the entrance conference. They'll talk a little bit about what they're going to be auditing. They are getting ready to wrap up our single audit, but I'm sure they'll talk about that a little bit as well. So with us tonight is Kristen Baylor. She is the head of Team Everett and our auditor in charge tonight, Christos. I'm not even going to try it because I always get it wrong. So hopefully he will forgive me when he pops up on the screen. But yeah, we'll let them get to it. I have shared with you the entrance conference documents. They should have been at your stations when you got here tonight. And with that, Christina, we'll turn it over.
All right, thank
All
you very
right.
much. Good evening, Christina. Just looking
Good
to
evening.
find out where you are on my screen. There you are. Welcome and go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good evening, members of the City Council
not
and
me, right?
Mayor.
We're having audio issues. Christina, is your mic on? Your mic appears to be on.
It looks like it is. Can you hear me now?
Can we just, Zach, can you try to say something? Let's just see if this is us. Zach, you're actually muted. Try that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me now?
Okay, it's us. So your computers are reading yellow boxes indicating that sound is going in on your side. Just a second. We have one of those clap on, clap off systems. We just need to get the tempo right on our clap on. Christina, go ahead and try again.
Sure. Good evening.
There we
Can you
go.
hear me now?
We sure can.
Perfect. I do feel like it's an AT&T commercial for you this evening. Oh, well, good. Well, at least we have audio working. So good evening, members of City Council and the Mayor. We're very excited to be with you virtually this evening to share what we call our entrance conference. And thank you, Becky, for the introduction. We do have a virtual presentation to share with you all this evening. So I'll take a moment to share my screen and make sure that that shows up for everyone. How does that look? Is that coming through?
Yes, it's coming through. Sorry, that was my cue. Yes, it's fine. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, on your screen in front of you, you can see the beginning of our presentation titled an entrance conference. The purpose of our entrance conference is to share the start of our audit engagement that is currently underway for the City of Monroe. I appreciate the introductions, and just to do a quick introduction, yes, I do serve as the audit manager for one of the regional teams of the State Auditor's Office. It's been a pleasure to work with the City of Monroe over the years, and we're very excited to continue to work with your team for the 2022 period. We are going to take a moment to walk you through what we have planned for the audit that's currently underway. We will provide an opportunity for any questions at the end of our presentation. And in addition, we did send over a packet of information that is intended to accompany our virtual presentation. I believe that is part of your packet this evening, but if for some reason you do not have that, please let us know and we'd be happy to share it following our presentation. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump right in. If you are new to the audit process, or maybe you've been around a number of years, you might recognize the face on this screen. This is our state auditor, Pat McCarthy, who is currently in her second term as our state auditor. And the state auditor's office role is to perform regular audits of all state and local governments on a very, very regular cycle. So typically every 1 to 3 years, depending on your size and audit needs. But one thing that we do like to share is that we do more than just one type of audit. So on the screen in front of you, you'll see a number of boxes of the different types of audits our office performs. For those that are applicable to the city, we'll be taking a moment to walk you through what we have planned for each. And you can see on the screen that we have 3 boxes highlighted. Those are the accountability, financial, and federal audits. All 3 are applicable for the City of Monroe, but we do have a number of gray boxes as well. Those boxes are not applicable for our current engagement, but they can be applicable in future years. So those range from performance audits to cybersecurity audits, which is an up and coming audit area as governments face cybersecurity challenges just like private companies. But we also perform fraud investigations and citizen hotline referrals too, where members of your community can submit concerns to our office that they'd like us to take a look at or consider as well. Those items are gray this year because they are not applicable and we don't have any concerns submitted for consideration for the city of Monroe, which is always good news. So we'll take a moment to jump into the first of 3 audits that we have planned for you. And I'm going to turn it over to my staff member, Christos. He's going to walk you through the first audit, which is our financial statement audit. Christos?
Thank you, Christina. Our first audit is the financial statement audit, which covers the period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. The objective of the financial statement audit is to issue an opinion as to whether the financial statements presented for the audit are fairly stated and materially corrected. At the end of our audit, we will issue a financial statement report to the city in accordance with the bar's manual. This report will detail the opinion being issued, the results of our consideration of the city's internal controls and compliance, and also the audited financial statements themselves. The second audit is the federal grant compliance audit. And this is under the same period as the financial statement audit of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. The objective is to determine whether the city complied with the requirements for the received federal funding. Upon completion, we will issue an opinion over the city's compliance with the grant requirements. The program is selected for 2022 is the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds grant, also known as SLRF. The grant amounts received amounts to roughly 82% of the total federal expenditures on the city's schedule of federal awards. And the last audit is the accountability audit, which will cover January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, as the city did not receive an accountability audit in the prior year audit of 2021. We have selected the following areas to evaluate during the audit, as you can see on the slide. Notably, we will be reviewing the city's accounts payable over general disbursements and funds transfers, also known as EFTs, as well as an in-depth coverage over the city's payroll for gross wages, overtime, leave balances, EFTs, leave cash outs, bonus and incentive payments, and final pay to departing employees. And there are several other sections that we'll be going over as well on the slide.
All right, thank you, Christos. And we'll go over a few communication items in addition that we'd like to share with you tonight. The first item is the importance of regular communication throughout the audit process. So Becky Hassert is our assigned audit liaison, and we'll be working closely with Becky throughout the audit process. But we do believe that communication is key throughout our engagement. And on the screen here, we do have a number of ways that we'll stay connected throughout our audit process. I would like to highlight the 2 areas in green that are important for our presentation tonight. Throughout the audit, we will hold weekly status meetings to keep your staff up to date on the progress of the audit, as well as any questions or concerns as they arise. This is a really great opportunity just to ensure that we're all on the same page and that we've been provided all information that's needed and necessary to form our audit conclusion. And then lastly, we will be providing an opportunity to the council and the mayor to provide to hold an exit conference at the end of our engagement. And that's another opportunity similar to tonight, where we can share our preliminary audit recommendations with you and answer any questions before they are published on our website. In addition, the audit process can result in audit recommendations. And if you have not been familiar with these items, we do have 3 primary levels of audit recommendations. The most significant audit recommendation is what we call an audit finding. Audit findings are those items that are required to be included in our audit report. They are the only level of audit recommendation that is included in its entirety. And if an audit finding is necessary, the city does have the opportunity to provide a response to the finding, which would also be viewable in our report. The second level down is something called a management letter. Management letters are less significant items, but they're still necessary to communicate to the governing body in a formal letter. If not addressed timely, sometimes management letters can grow to become audit findings in the future. So we do want to make sure we communicate these so that you have a good understanding of the significance of those items as well. And then very common during an audit process are small items, items that we liken to housekeeping items. These are referred to as exit items. These items are typically shared with management as they are typically the best personnel to address these items. If the governing body has interest in these, we are happy to share those as well, but they are very common to the audit process. And in addition, we do like to share a few key points of important information. The first is our commitment to securing confidential information. So throughout the audit process, we may request information from your staff that does contain confidential information, such as employee information or vendor information. If any of that information is requested, please know that we do have a full set of procedures to make sure that it is adequately safeguarded in our audit process, as well as transferred from your staff to us through secure portals. But if you have any concerns over that, we do encourage you to let us know if any documentation that is requested contains that information, just to make sure that we are properly handling that and there is no oversight of that. In addition, audit costs are also shared at the beginning of our audit. Those have been included in your entrance conference packets and as well as our engagement letter. And we will provide an update on the end cost of the audit at our exit conference. We also like to let you know that should there be a matter that arises during the audit that we are unable to get through in our normal communication process, or any concerns that the city would like to have additional communication on, we do offer an audit dispute process. We hope that it is not utilized at all. It's very rare that it is needed, but should the city feel that you do have a concern that you would like to talk within our office more about, we do offer you to talk to all of our individuals all the way up to our state auditor as necessary, so that we can get those items resolved during the process. And then lastly, we do like to give a quick reminder on loss reporting. There is a state law that requires our local governments to notify our office timely should the city experience a known or potential loss of public funds. If that happens, it is very easy to notify our office. We do have a notification form on our website so that you can submit those referrals, and then we will triage those and determine if any investigation or follow-up investigation is necessary. I did mention a new up-and-coming area is cybersecurity losses. And we do offer audit services over that audit type, but a lot of our local governments, unfortunately, are experiencing losses in this area. These also require reporting as well, so it's important to be aware of this for your reference. There are two potential notifications that may be necessary. The first is the Attorney General's office. If the city were to experience a large cybersecurity loss where more than 500 Washington residents are potentially impacted, that does require notification to the Attorney General's office. We have included a link on our slide today and in your entrance packet if you'd like to find out more information about how to complete such a notification. Again, we hope that that does not happen to the city of Monroe, but should it be necessary, we want to make sure you have that information. And then also, we too do want to be notified if there is a potential cybersecurity loss that you experience. This does not have a threshold for reporting. So any potential impact to your finances through a cybersecurity issue, you'll want to report that as well to our office. Again, we have a number of procedures that we can do to follow up on these, but we are seeing this area grow, unfortunately, and it's very important to make sure that we can not only investigate these matters, but also share resources with you so that you can avoid or not have these happen in the future. And then we also often get asked during the audit process, if we undergo an audit, does the state auditor's office have to undergo an audit? So we do like to share with our local governments that yes, we do participate in the audit process as well. The state auditor's office undergoes a peer review program, which occurs every 3 years and requires our agency to undergo an audit to make sure that we're fully compliant with audit policies as well as state laws. We are happy to report that our last audit resulted in a pass rating, which is the highest level of assurance that you can receive from an audit. And then just a few last slides to share with you. Beyond the current audit that we are currently performing, our office does love to provide additional resources and assistance throughout the year. We do have 2 teams that are available to your staff should they be warranted, and these are available at no additional cost. The first team is our local government support team. They are available year-round for any accounting or reporting questions that your staff have. They offer assistance through trainings and our online help desk, as well as our BARS reporting manual. And then we also have a relatively new team called our Center for Government Innovation. And the center focuses on process improvements and resources that kind of bridges the gap between an audit recommendation and looking for ways to actually implement changes at your organization. They have a number of opportunities available to our governments, and those can include training to your staff. They'll provide a trainer to come on site to you or virtually, again, at no additional cost. They also provide team building and leadership classes, as well as our financial intelligence tool, which is available on our website and lets your citizens know how the city is doing with its financial health. They also do provide a library full of resources that you can download at any time that does give best practices on an ever-growing number of areas. This slide does show you a number of the more recent guides that have been published on our website, and these can be great to share with your staff, especially for key areas that they might be involved in. It's always a good idea to stay in the know on the best practices so that you can see if those can be implemented or if the city is already following those practices. One new resource that we did want to share with our elected officials is coming out of our fraud division team. Elected officials play a very important role in oversight of government operations. And one new resource that we'd like to share with you is our Trust But Verify guide. This guide is designed specifically for elected officials, and it discusses the important role that elected officials play in monitoring financial operations from a high level so that you can help detect or deter fraud in your organization. We have included this guide as part of your packet. Again, it's a very, very good guide. It just really provides a couple of tips and suggestions for things that you can consider doing if you're not already doing to help maintain that oversight over financial operations. And then lastly, we do like to share that our office does publish about twice a year a newsletter that does keep you up to date on any emerging areas of focus or audit items. And this is really good to sign up for if you have not signed up for. It just involves giving your email address, and that can give you a copy of the newsletter as well as articles as they come out and help you stay in the know on current issues that we're seeing across the state. We have included the most recent guide in your packet, and you'll see some articles that involve new accounting changes impacting our local governments, as well as an opportunity for free cyber checkups that our office is also launching to help stay ahead of those cyber risks. And with that, we've shared a number of items tonight. We'd love to close out our presentation to see if there's any last questions or comments that we can answer for you.
Thank you for your presentation. I turn to the council. Are there any questions or comments? All right, I see none. Thank you very much for your presentation this evening, and we look forward to engaging with you on this audit process. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the
Thank
next
you.
item on the agenda, thank you. The next item on the agenda is public comments. This is a time set aside for members of the public to speak to the City Council on any issue related to the City of Monroe, except in a quasi-judicial matter that is subject to a public hearing. 3 minutes are afforded to each speaker. If you are interested in speaking tonight and you are online, please go ahead and raise your remote hand in Zoom or hit *9 if you're on the phone. If you're here in person and would like to speak to the council, just go ahead and wave your hands back and forth. Come on up. And we'll go ahead and put the 3-minute timer up and then state your name and we'll start the timer.
Thank you. My name, excuse me, my name is Connie Goss. I'm here representing the Monroe Arts Council tonight. We wanted to be sure that the city officials are all aware of an event, very special event that we're having a week from this Friday at the Wagner Performing Arts Center. And that event is an evening with David Arkenstone and friends. Monroe is really very privileged to have musicians of this caliber coming to perform. They were here earlier this year and they were amazing. And some of you were there and appreciate what I'm telling you, but we were rather stunned when they contacted us and asked if they could perform at our venue. And we rose to the occasion. We put in a lot of improvements in a very short period of time in the sound and lighting, and even fixed up some of the seating, got rid of some of the duct tape. And they were amazing to work with. And they are back for a second time this year. And we are so excited. We feel it's really important to encourage acts of this quality to come to Monroe. It's what we're about at the Arts Council, is promoting the arts. And this is a very worthwhile performance. And we really hope that each and every one of you, if you can, will attend and support this concert so that people like Arkenstone will want to come back. I've passed out some flyers, or Jody has passed out some flyers for us. So scan that QR code, buy your tickets, and just to let you know, the Arts Council does not benefit directly from increased ticket sales. We are operating this strictly as a rental venue. So it's not about the money for us. We want you guys to come. We want the whole city to come and appreciate this great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's anybody else who'd like to speak, again, online, hit *9 or put your Zoom hand up. Anybody there in the public, here in the chambers, please go ahead and wave your hands back and forth. All right, seeing no more hands waving back and forth, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. That item will be the consent agenda. I turn to the council. There's a sample motion up there for you. Councilmember Kenny, go ahead. I was going to say Councilmember Tammy, but Councilmember Kenny.
I move to approve the consent agenda as provided in the packet.
I have a motion from Councilmember Kenny, a second from Councilmember Davis to approve the consent agenda as provided in the packet. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Almost said any abstentions, so I stopped myself there. All right, new business. We're going to move on to 7.1. This is Economic Development Advisory Board, EDAB appointment. I'm going to call Mr. Christian up. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Council. Thank you for your time. The appointment in front of you is for position 5 on the Economic Development Advisory Board. It's a vacancy ending December 31st, 2026. Mr. James Reyna comes to us from the entertainment industry, and it's not a represented industry on the Economic Development Advisory Board currently. He represents Galaxy Theater in Monroe. Mr. Reyna has been very active on the Economic Development Advisory Board over the last several months, attending meetings as a guest. And he was also interviewed by the mayor and staff on August 16th of this year. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I would turn it back over to you, and Mr. Reyna is in attendance if you would like to call forward.
Thank you. Mr. Reyna, please come forward. Going to ask you please just state your name, your interest in serving on the board to the council.
Sure. My name is James Reyna, and my interest would just be to contribute however possible here in town. So.
Okay. Thank you. And I do appreciate the fact that you have been attending the meetings. So thank you for doing that. Council members, do you have any questions, or is there a motion? Councilmember Heather. You're all first names to me tonight.
It's okay, we can be casual. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I think that we all have seen how much James has been just an awesome part of the community. I don't even know when it started. I just only noticed you like the last 2 years, and thank you so much for all you do. And with that, I would like to move to confirm the mayor's appointment of James Reyna to the Economic Development Advisory Board, position 5, with a term ending December 31, 2026.
I have a motion from Councilmember Fulcher, a second from Councilmember Jason. Any discussion on the motion? Go ahead, Councilmember Kevin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have, it's been great to see your involvement in the city, and from everything, we've just talked briefly, but from everything I've heard from other people in our community, you're well spoken about. And so I firmly believe this is a great appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion to appoint, to confirm the appointment? Councilmember Gamble, go ahead.
No, and I do appreciate bringing in another perspective on the entertainment side to have that in, on the EDF board, so happy to have you step forward.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, board member.
Thank you all.
The next item that we have on the agenda is new business item 7.2. This is a 2023-2024 Lodging Tax Advisory Committee LTAC appointments. Mr. Pyland?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council. So before you, there's actually 3 requested actions, and these are confirmation of the mayor appointments to the following positions. It's Councilmember Heather Fulcher to the elected chair official position. And then we have Doug Hobbs and Connie Goss for the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee members, the industry members from the tourism market, and then also to appoint Anita Galvin and Cran Sidhu as lodging business members. State law does require that we look at all of these appointments on a yearly basis. And as the vacancies were advertised, the Mayor Thomas and staff conducted interviews for the 5 members seeking confirmation this evening. With us tonight is Doug Hobbs. Connie Goss is here as well. I believe Anita Galvin should be in the Zoom link itself, Karan Sidhu, and then of course, Councilmember Fulcher is here.
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invite both Doug and also Connie forward to just explain your interest in serving on LTAC. So we'll start off with Connie, because you're on the board right now, the committee, LTAC.
Thank you. My name is Connie Goss. I served a previous term on the LTAC committee. I'm a member of the board of the Monroe Arts Council, and I'm a member of the Monroe Historical Society. And I work at Research International about 2 minutes away from this location, just down the road. And I would be privileged to serve another term.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Hobbs, Doug? I'm going to call you Councilmember Doug.
Good evening, everyone. Doug Hobbs, former member of the Lodging Tax Association, also a member of in the community Evergreen Health Foundation, Monroe High School STEM Council, and a longtime member of the community, and operate Evergreen Speedway since 2011. I'm proud to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to request that council consider motion number 2 first. Do you have any questions for Mr. Hobbs or for Ms. Goss? Okay. Perhaps a motion for motion number 2? Councilmember Hanford, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to confirm the mayor's appointments of Doug Hobbs to position 3 and Connie Goss to position 4 of the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee as tourism industry members with terms ending 6/30/2024.
Motion from Councilmember Hanford, a second from Councilmember Campbell for the requested motion number 2, as shown on the screen. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to motion number 3. And I see that Anita Galvin is already in the panel list. Anita, if you could turn on your video if that's an option for you. And I would like you just to explain your interest in serving. And again, as with everybody else, thank you for your application.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. Anita Galvan. I'm the front desk manager at Evergreen Inn and Suites. I've been there for over 20 years. Lived in Monroe for over 40 years, and I've been on the LTAC board, I think, since 2021.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then we also have Karan Sidhu to position number 2. And these, as previously noted, are both lodging business members. By state law, we are required to make certain that we've got representation from that industry. I understand that he is not available. Oh, come on forward. I'm sorry. I was looking for you on the screen. Please go ahead and state your name and your interest
Hello,
for
everyone.
serving.
This is Karan Sidhu. I am the owner of Hotel Fairground Inn. From February, I own this hotel, but I have bunch of other. I have a Royal Banquet Hall nearby. I also have a Indian cuisine. So when I bought the hotel, I see that lodging tax plays a key role in the city because it's $2 for the room. So it's an important piece. So when I heard about this, I said, this is a right for me. I will serve with all the knowledge that I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Anita or Karan? Okay, perhaps a motion number 3. Councilmember Hanford, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to confirm the mayor's appointments of Anita Galvin to position 1 and Karan Sidhu to position 2 of the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee as lodging business members with a term ending 6/30/2024.
I have a motion from Councilmember Hanford, a second from Councilmember Gamble for the requested action identified as motion 3 on the slide. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, committee members.
Thank
All right,
you.
we're gonna go ahead and move back up to motion number 1. I am happy to appoint Councilmember Fulcher to serve in this position. Councilmember Fulcher, would you like to either make a motion for yourself? I'm just kidding. Or would you like to explain your interest in serving? I should probably ask that. Go ahead. Clap on, clap off. There we go.
Yes, there you go. I never turned down the opportunity for a microphone. So, yes, I have enjoyed doing the LTAC for a couple of years now, and I think that we've just really gotten into a groove, and I feel like we've gotten people who really understand the process, and it's really cool to have Doug back. Thank you so much, and looking forward to Karan and Connie. Welcome back as well, and of course Anita, wherever she's at. Just looking forward to another year of service, and there you go.
All right, thank you very much. Do I have a motion for motion 1 on the request action on the slide? Councilmember Gamble, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna give it.
Councilmember Davis, go ahead.
All right, so I'll move to confirm the mayor's appointment of Councilmember Heather Fulcher to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee as the elected official / chair with a term ending 6/30/2024.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Davis, a second from Councilmember Gamble for motion number 1 is shown on the slide. Any discussion on the motion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, committee chair. All right, thank you very much, everybody. And again, thank you everybody who put their names in, and really excited about the committee. So thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. That would be 7.3 in our new business. This is authorize the mayor to sign updated 2023 interlocal agreement renewal with Snohomish County for solid waste management. And Megan Darrow would be the one presenting on this. And she is now in the panel. Good evening, Megan. If you can hear us, please go ahead and take yourself off mute. And if video is available, please go ahead and turn on your video.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me okay?
We sure can. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I am requesting the city council's approval to authorize the mayor to sign an updated 2023 interlocal agreement with Snohomish County. It's a renewal for solid waste management. The current ILA between the county and Monroe is set to expire this December 31st. It has been in place since 2003, and if signed, the new ILA will extend the agreement into 2038. The ILA coordinates disposal of solid waste within the county, which is required by RCW 70A 205. There have been no substantive changes in the updated ILA, only updated terminology and references to the county's current comprehensive plan. The county has requested that the city sign off on the updated ILA by October 1st of this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any questions or a motion? Councilmember Kenny, go ahead.
I move to authorize the mayor to enter into, on behalf of the city, an updated interlocal agreement, ILA, between the city of Monroe and Snohomish County for the management of solid waste.
Second, Fulcher.
I have a motion from Councilmember Kenny, a second from Councilmember Fulcher for the request action on the slide, new business 7.3. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 8. This is Councilmember reports. I'll go ahead and start off randomly with Councilmember Davis.
Nothing to report.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Fisher.
Well, I was trying to remember all of the things, but between the start of school, the start of sports, and everything else, my brain's a little bit foggy. I do remember going to Senator Hawkins' listening tour, though. It was a great chance to meet with him, hear what he's about, what his concerns are. He seems to be pretty focused on our area when it comes to everything from schools to hashtag 522 and Highway 2 and all the concerns, or a lot of the concerns that we have here as a community. So it was great. I don't know what that says, so. Oh, okay. I went to Belonging. It was great. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Fisher. Councilmember Kenny.
All right, let's see. I did go to the Belonging event, and I think all of us went to the ribbon cutting. I don't know if we've met as a council since then.
Oh, yeah, the ribbon cutting.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was really wonderful and well attended, and just a great way to usher in the fair. That was opening day, and Hawkins and all of our electeds were there, and it was really fun to get a chance to see everyone. So that was a big day. And the parade was wonderful too. But yes, Belonging was at Sky River Park on Saturday, and it was really a great event. There were just a lot of different people there, all ages, some amazing performances, and I'll let Mayor Thomas talk more about that. But was very happy to be there. That was year 2, put on by the Monroe Equity Council, and just a really, really important event for the city. I'm so proud that that is going strong, and hopefully will grow more every year. I'm tomorrow night attending something called Blues, Brats, and Brews, which is supporting Girls on the Run. I know Ms. Knight will be there and some other folks, so that's going to be good. And early notice for everyone that the Monroe Historical Society on Sunday, October 1 at the library is going to be hosting a presentation featuring retired Judge Steve Clough. And he is the longest serving judge in the state of Washington and the longest serving elected official in Snohomish County. So we're really going to be excited that he's presenting memories from the bench, 42 years on the bench. So I encourage all of you, if you're not busy on Sunday, October 1st, to come join us at the library from 1 to 3 and celebrate his long career. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Scarborough.
Yes, parade was a success. I have a box down here that I can put everybody's signs in and keep them for the year if you'd like. If you want to keep your own, that's fine. They sit nice and flat in this box, and they won't be curled up and hard to get on your car next year if you want. So if you want me to keep them, get them to me. Attended and helped with the VFW to put up the flags for 9/11 along Old On Road up at the cemetery. Put them up in the morning, took them down at night, pulled them all up. It's nice to see their community activity, and it was it's kind of nice to see all the flags along there. It was pretty well attended. You know, there's always a few that do most of the work, but there was enough up there to get that done. That's about it for me.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Scarborough. Councilmember Hanford.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. First of all, Councilmember Scarborough, thank you for your help with the flags yesterday. And then you mentioned the signs. All I know is I got out of the car and the signs were in the car and it took off. So I have no clue where my signs are at. My assumption is somebody at Speedway has them all. I don't.
We got some from Heather's got some. She's gonna do. I don't know how many are here. I'll look and
Okay.
give you an inventory next week.
Okay, great. I wanted to go to the belonging thing on the 9th, but had a family get together that was wonderful. So I missed that, but the fair was a great time. Saw a few of you there. And the parade was just amazing as always. Big shout out to city staff and all your work there. It was great to see Greg just working the system there, and everybody else helping out. And it was, I don't know if this was the first time, but it was just great to go down the road and wave at people and then just continually hear the chanting and cheering for Councilmember Fulcher saying, "Hi, Heather, hi, Heather." So your car was behind mine and I was like, wow, she's popular here. That's all, thanks.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Popular, I'm sorry, Fulcher.
A little warm in here. Okay. Yeah, my driver was also complaining about that. What about me? So I did pick up the signs today that Steve had down at Speedway, by the way. Yours were not in there. I'm just letting you know. I will ask him again if he's found any extras, but just heads up. Yes, the parade was awesome. And just leave that there. And then the ribbon cutting for the trail, that is just an awesome trail that we've got there. I am so proud of the city for putting in that multi-use trail alongside the highway. And one of my regular customers is that lady who drives her wheelchair down the road, and she has just been gushing about it. She just is very grateful. So passing that along from Miss Teresa. And then on the following Friday, the last Friday of the fair, was the VIP dinner, and I did do a long drawn out speech for all of you. I hope you don't mind. And just kidding. And I think that was about it because, honestly, I've just made a lot of good work with, a lot of good use of all this free time. So good to see all of you again.
Thank you. Councilmember Gamble.
Yes, it has been a long time. It really has. The parade is extra special in our family. I know. So September, as you guys all know, Hydrocephalus Awareness Month, and it was in proclamation. It was in the mayor's newsletter. And my niece, Gracia McGrath, who has hydrocephalus, thinks the parade is for her. So I think, as long as I live in the city limits, I will be required to run for office anytime I come up because, it is the highlight every year. And then it goes into the month of September, which my sister, Minnie McGrath, is very active in the hydrocephalus community and fundraising and drives and active on social media and does a lot of awareness campaigns. This last weekend was their annual walk. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year. Down, I think it's Ravenna or down, in the Seattle area. Unfortunately, I don't ever miss that, and I missed that, and I missed the belonging because the family went to church, Eric Church over in the Gorge. So it was, tickets bought way in advance, but it was great because I got to see the daughter and everybody over on the other side of the mountains. So, but the fair is just always, it's really special, and she just loves it. So in the back of her truck. So that's one of the other reasons why we do the truck. She has auditory issues and all that kind of stuff. So she gets to be outside, wears her headphones, and just has a great time waving everybody, down the parade route, and looks forward to seeing you guys every year as well. And then, let's see, the first high school home football game, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. You know, we got school back in session and this Friday up at the high school, 7 o'clock. We're a one high school, we're a, one, at least football wise, high school town. So it's a big community event. And that team is defending their Wesco South championship this year. So it should be another great year of football and a great place for community, up at the high school. So that's this Friday. And then I am bummed. Tomorrow, I know we've got the Economic Alliance, Snohomish County, 5 to 7, Galaxy Monroe a theater. Well, I be unable to attend. We have our kickoff board meeting for the Monroe Public School Foundation, but I did want to put the plug out there to remind. I know we got text reminders and email reminders, but that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Councilmember. We're going to go ahead and move on to staff now for staff and department reports. We'll start off with the Parks Department with Director Farrell. Director Farrell.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Good evening, council members. So in your packets is the monthly report. It was a busy month last August, tons of events and lots of repairs in the parks, and we love doing that. It's great for the community. But I want to mention 2 items out of the report. One is really proud of the partnership, working with Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue on installing life jacket station at the beach there at Lake Ty. So on the back side of that information station facing the lake, we have these hangers for life jackets. And so we got a lot of good information to post on there as far as water safety. And this brings an opportunity for, say, a service club in Monroe to assist us or join the partnership, and keep supplying life jackets, and maintain life jackets, because as we all know, life jackets save lives. So, and then the second item I want to mention is we're looking forward to engaging with our community at the Trails Master Plan Open House. So that's Thursday, September 21st. So it's a week from this Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Park Place Middle School Commons. So look forward to seeing you all there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Farrell. Any questions for Director Farrell? Go ahead, Councilmember Kenny.
So I have a question, Mike. I'm not sure if it's Parks responsibility or not, but I did have someone ask me the other day about who is responsible for keeping up the lawn and trees along Highway 2 in front of businesses. They noticed a big disparity between some of the businesses where the grass is beautiful and the trees are lush, and others where the trees are dead and there are weeds. And I would ask you, is that something the Parks is responsible for?
Thank you. No, it is not. I believe, I don't have the exact answer, but I'm pretty sure that the businesses along that's the right of way that they're responsible for maintaining. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you very
So
much
thank
for
you. Appreciate
confirming.
that.
Director Roberts gave you an A+ for that response.
Thank you so much.
Councilmember Gamble, go ahead.
It's not a question. I just, I know we just came off an extremely busy, season, and I was approached by a resident that was is friends with somebody that does grant writing in the Kirkland area. And they were wanting to reach out, and I said, yeah, that's absolutely, because they wanted to figure out how do you get such beautiful turf fields in Monroe in the park system that we have. And I sat there and I said, absolutely, feel free to reach out. And I just was reflecting as I was having that conversation. And it just, I think when you look at our park system, throughout, and I would include the school district in there too, right? I mean, I look at the partnerships between the parks, having a good parks board, you have a council partnership, a staff partnership, community clubs partnerships, which I know you've spearheaded a lot of those connections with the different soccer organizations, the Little League, all the different community clubs, the school district, across the board. And Mike, you are the consistent factor, through all of those different relationships. And when we watch, coming out of the summer and all these different events, you're doing a great job. And it's just cool when you get it just, off the cuff. I'm in Lowe's. I was in Lowe's, and somebody approaching, and it also made me feel pretty good that Kirkland hasn't figured out how to put turf fields in that are, city facilities. So anyway.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And yeah, I welcome that. I know we had someone else reaching out to us in the region asking about our flowers. How do we do that? And so, and why I bring that up is that you hit it right on the head, is that like all of our successes are due to the collaborations and partnerships. We can't do anywhere near, what we accomplish without that. So, yeah.
No, agreed. And a lot of people don't realize that, when we say partnerships, it's financial too. The Little League donated money, right? I mean, I know we put money towards, the initial field up at the school, and integrating those efforts just makes a big difference. So thank you for
brings us
the work.
together.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Director Farrell? All right.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is 9.2. This is Economic Development Report for August 2023. Tyler Christian.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening again, Council. Your Economic Development Advisory Board packet agenda bill is in the packet. There's a couple key highlights I want to touch on. One, if Council remember, in early summer, the board went on a downtown walking tour of just our whole promenade there. And it was really great. The board got to learn a lot of things, and so they wanted to continue on that. So we were able to do one in the industrial area. It is listed as a walking tour. We did get to walk around Toolcraft, which is an amazing experience. We drove to Canyon Creek because the industrial area is very large, so we did not walk the whole way. But we got to meet with leadership from Canyon Creek and continue to strengthen those relationships. And so we're going to continue forward with that in the North Kelsey area as well in the future. So trying to get out and have our board be able to meet other members of the business community and continue those relationships. The next thing that's in there is 2 members of our Parks Department, Katie Darrow and McKenna Olson, brought back our Choose Monroe publication. That publication has been around for a while now, and we just wanted to make sure that it was still what the Economic Development Advisory Board wanted to recommend to council in the future. So they did a wonderful job of that, got to go over some numbers and some history of that. They would like to continue doing that. However, we would like to add potentially some aspects of promoting that, whether that be through social media, maybe some digital formats, just being able to meet our community members where they are, if maybe a print publication is not where everyone receives their information. So we'll continue to work on that, hopefully bring a recommendation back to council. Finally, the Economic Development Advisory Board has had subcommittees for some time now. Those were tourism, growth and development, business retention, recruitment, and expansion. The committee met and wants to continue or to kind of invigorate those subcommittees, keeping those as overarching topics. But now that our board is full, and thank you for the appointment of James Reyna tonight, we actually have a very good distribution of members that come from different subsects of our community. So we have members from our downtown area. We also have members from North Kelsey, and then we have members from the industrial area. So they thought it would be beneficial to get together, be able to use their contacts, have those offline discussions that still revolve around the main subcommittees, but then be able to bring that back for a certain area and then have the entire board talk about it. So we're going to continue. We're going to start those. We are convening this month, and we will see if we can have some more recommendations to council. Finally, the August Monroe business report is in your packet, and I would be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Tyler? Thank you very much for your report. Next one we have is 9.3 HRIT Communications report with Director Worthen. Good evening.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I gotta get myself straight. So we'll start with communications. In the packet is a pretty cool kind of collective of ways that we communicate with all of our people out there. Our strategy, our communications consultant Mojo kind of pulled everything together. So it's a good way for if somebody asks you, how do I get in touch with the city? Or how do I know about agendas? Or, it's got all of our socials on there. We're on all kinds of them: Instagram, Facebook, now X, formerly Twitter, YouTube. And then it's got, come attend to a city council, which people are doing. So I thought that's pretty good. We always hear, how do we get in touch with folks? And that's a good way. IT side, September 29th, we'll be doing a server move, as our current server is in a building that is going to be remodeled. So we will be closed to the public on the 29th, and the IT folks will be consuming a lot of energy drinks and pizza during that time. But we are working towards that with all of our fiber partners, our network partners, and all of that stuff. So that will be a good next move as we start to the campus remodel. And last but not least, HR stuff. So anniversaries, Sherry Simonson in the clerk's office, 33 years. So Sherry worked at the police department for a while, and then now we were glad to take her on as our public records officer on City Hall side. Jake Carswell, Sergeant, he's been with us 21 years. Monica Sandoval, also in the police department, 19. JP in Public Works, Javier Patton, and Michael Tomisto, all of 16 years. And wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't stand up here and say Deborah Knight, 6 years as well. So here's my plug. I know. Well, here's to another 6 more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's all. Any questions?
Any questions for, go ahead.
So is the junior police sticker for HR or is that for IT?
It's for all things that I do.
Oh,
That's directly from the chief. So
Oh.
I'm glad you noticed that. So, yes, perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
No, it's a legitimate question. I appreciate it. So.
Any other questions for the deputy?
Junior
Deputy. He's gonna take that as a no and walk. All right, next item, 10.1, city administrator report, specifically the extended agenda. Go ahead, Deborah. I can always use this too. All right.
Ben's always a hard act to follow. For the extended agenda, looking forward to next Tuesday, the 19th, we will have a finance and HR committee meeting. There's a couple of items on the agenda, and those include mid-year performance review update, IT updates, the 2022 audit update, reserve policy, and travel policy expense reimbursement review. So those are all items for members of council that are on the finance and HR committee. We don't have any items for the study session, so if you're not part of HR and finance committee, we won't have a meeting that evening. And I have in the slide power in this one, the motion then to cancel that meeting if council would like to do that. Looking forward then to the following week for September 26th. We will have our temporary city hall open house. So council is invited to come and take a look at our new temporary quarters from 4:30 to 6:30. So that would be before the meeting. There is a closed session that is noticed at the end of the regular business meeting. And because it's a closed session and not an executive session, we're actually going to have that before the regular meeting at the temporary city hall. So I think you've got the information in front of you there, and we'll remind you of that as we get closer to that date. The P3 committee meeting is canceled, but we will have the regular business meeting. On the consent agenda, we've got the standard approval of accounts payable, payroll, meeting minutes, and appointment of Patrick Doherty as, or not appointment, excuse me, a contract with Patrick Doherty for economic development. For new business, we have repealing an ordinance of municipal code 9.35 for regulation of solicitation in accordance with state law, and then reports for finance, community development, public works, police, and human services, and then an executive session for property acquisition.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Administrator Knight? Go ahead, Councilmember Gamble.
On the 26th, I most likely will be remote traveling for business, but I think they should still be able to make it.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or notes? Go ahead, Councilmember Hanford.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, the 26th, have a family member having surgery that day, so most likely can log in remote that evening, but will not be around for the closed session. And I don't know if there'll be a Zoom or a phone call option for that or not, but please let me know if there is.
Okay, we will. Councilmember Fisher, go ahead.
And I will be working that night, so I will be remote, hopefully on the 26th.
Okay, so we have 3 people remote. Could we just, for the remaining 4 of you, just in case the remote blows up on us, the remaining 4, are you able to attend the 26th based on what you know? I've got 2, yep, we've got 3 thumbs up and a yes. Okay, sounds good. You're gonna put your thumb down now? I'm gonna take that as a good though. All right, any other notes, questions, comments, good jokes? All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to City Administrator Report 2.10. Do you like that? 10.2, go ahead.
So looking for a motion to cancel the September 19th City Council study session.
I'd just say so moved. Tammy.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Kinney, a second from Councilmember Davis to cancel the September 19th study session meeting. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, so a couple of just say.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that discussion on the motion?
No, I
Oh,
just,
okay.
but we will continue with the finance committee.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Any other questions before we continue? All right, go ahead.
All right, so the rest of the items on my administrator's report for this week are really just save the date items. So we've got the Trails Master Plan public meeting that Director Mike Farrell had mentioned earlier, Thursday, September 21st at Park Place Middle School. The open house that I mentioned about the temporary city hall, and then the city buildings closed on September 29th. That was what Bedworth had mentioned for the circuit migration. And then a notice had been out earlier just about the grand opening at the Fairfax facility on November 16th. I think we've got a couple of council members who mentioned that they were planning to attend that. So all of those, we will have forum notices going out for each of those.
All right. Any other questions or notes or comments?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. My apologies. Do we need a motion to cancel P3? I guess we do that. So a motion to cancel the P3.
So
committee
moved.
meeting. Thank you.
Councilmember Gamble with a motion. Second is
Second.
Councilmember Davis. Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. So we have migratory servers now. All right. Don't let the EPA figure that one out. Okay. All right. Mayor's report. Just a couple items. First, I attended the joint meeting of the Planning Commission in Chisab last night. There's a really good presentation about the state requirements related to housing and equity analysis. I did note that we had 2 people from Planning Commission in attendance. We had 3 people from Chisab. We had a number of other people join remotely. I certainly value seeing all of you here tonight. Anyway, I did appreciate the conversation that was there. And then the ribbon cutting for the frontage on in front of the fairgrounds. I appreciated everybody who came. And I too, just like everybody else said, really value that improvement that was there. I actually had a couple of people criticize us and me for doing that and prioritizing it. Tried to explain that, hey, we, in addition to people just walking, we have people who are in wheelchairs and other ways that they're getting back and forth with wheels. And a lot of accidents happen there in front of the fairgrounds for some reason. People rear end people there. That separated walkway is a real high value for our community. And Heather, thank you for sharing what you did about somebody who's been actively using that. Councilmember Scarborough?
Had a complaint about having to walk built.
Yes.
Having ceremony to open.
No, having it built. Yeah, 2 people. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Some people have different perspectives and I'll accept that. But just for me, it was something that I did actively and assertively defend and explain that this was one of my highest priorities that I really didn't think I'd ever see. And because of the council, because of the state, the county, because of staff, it's something that happened. And, when we talk about equity and the comments that were made earlier about for all, this is part of that, is making certain that people can get back and forth. That connected an area where we have a hospital, we have lower income housing, and higher income housing is not higher income, higher density housing is part of the proposal for that area. And you have people walking back and forth over to Fred Meyer to get groceries. That sort of thing is something important. The other thing too is that if you all remember, what was there previously was a chain link fence with slats in it and barbed wire on top. We now have a nice wrought iron fence that's there. I think that the county did a really solid job with us, working with us on that. I know they lost some parking stalls and that impacted some people that like parking there during the fair, but they did the right thing for the community as a whole. And if I have to point at a couple things that have happened while I've been serving, that's one of the things that that makes me smile. And you all made me smile for that, so thank you. A couple other items. I also attended the Hawkins event that was here. Appreciate the fact that he is very active. He comes to our community on a regular basis to hold town halls. There were people that were very much engaged in the conversation and would have liked to have had more time, I think, to discuss things with him. And I'm hopeful that they'll have that opportunity to talk with him more about the issues that they raised. But I do appreciate the fact that he holds town halls on a regular basis. He did mention to me twice that as the snow is coming and everything, that his access to Western Washington will be a little bit limited as we're coming up to the fall and the winter. So he is going to try to connect with us via Zoom if possible and things like that. Anyway, I just appreciated him being there and for that town hall. God, I feel like there was something else. Oh, the belonging event. Yes, I did attend the belonging event. I ended up, I was there just for probably a half hour or so. I think the two of you were probably there longer than I was. There was a good turnout, and I think that it's an event that that's a great way to celebrate the diversity that is humanity. People there just sharing, celebrating, experiencing different things, and I think that that's just a wonderful thing to have in our community. One of the things that I did do in that that was a little bit different, as you know, a lot of times I'll read Imagine Monroe. I read the back part of Imagine Monroe, just the part that in Monroe, Monroe is a safe place for all, where everyone feels at home and everyone feels they belong. What I did this time that was a little bit different that I would encourage you to do is this. I made the statement that this is not owned by any one politician. It's not owned by any one political party. It's not owned by any organization. This is owned by our community. And I asked them to just repeat after me. And for me, I think that the more that we can help people feel that sense of ownership, that this is a community for all, and the more that they are maybe part of saying that, it's something that hopefully will become something that outlasts all of us, that we are a place for everybody and we want to be supportive of everybody. To me, that's a good part of what belonging is, but it's a good part of what you all do as policymakers here and what we're doing with budget. And I thank each of you for your commitment to that. Last thing is that I just wanted to note is that tomorrow night, the Economic Alliance of Snohomish County is putting on a forum or training, or that's what they're calling it, a forum, right? A forum at the Galaxy Theater, and I'm thankful to have that there. I would encourage folks who are interested to come by and just listen to the presentation and take part in it. It is on inclusion and equity. They put one of these on back in December, and I felt that even though it may be a different speaker tomorrow, they did a really good job of not making things political. It was a conversation just about belonging, about all people belonging, and sharing experiences and perspectives and things like that. So if you have time tomorrow, I know a couple of you have, was it beer and brats and something?
That's Thursday.
Oh,
so
Thursday.
I'll be there tomorrow. Okay. For about an hour.
Yeah, I would encourage you all to come. There will be an opportunity. I think we've got a little bit of mingling around at the beginning. I'm going to try to get out of Seattle by 3 o'clock so that hopefully it won't take 2 hours to get here. But I hope to be here at 5 o'clock when it starts. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions for me? All right. Thank you, everybody. We do have a need for an executive session. Just double checking my calendar here, my agenda, and executive session is next. So this is potential litigation, pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 subsection 1 subsection little I, and property acquisition pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 subsection 1 subsection little b. We will have a need for action to follow. If nothing else, to adjourn. So if you are in the public, and we don't have any attendees anymore, feel free to hang on the line. I'll announce any extensions that might need to occur to our clerk, who will announce them in here for those of you who are no longer here or online. And we're going to start with an initial 15 minutes beginning at 8:14 p.m. session.
The executive session has been extended 5 minutes. The executive session has been extended 10 minutes. The executive session has been extended 6 minutes. The executive session has been extended 3 minutes.
If I can figure out how to work, if I can figure out how to operate my microphone, we can get this going again. The time right now is 9:05. And we do have a request to add an item to the agenda. Is there a motion to add an item to the agenda? Actually, there you go. We have a motion number one, request move to add an item to the agenda regarding the acquisition of the US Bank property. So moved. I have a motion from Councilmember Gamble, a second from Councilmember Scarborough. For motion one is shown on the screen as I just read it in. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. There's a second motion for your consideration.
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Councilmember Davis.
All right. I'll move to authorize the
Oh,
mayor.
just a second.
What?
Why don't we go ahead and have you explain first?
I can certainly do that.
Yes, sorry.
All right, so the council has been provided with a proposed option amendment to acquire the property located at 201 West Main Street and owned by US Bank National Association. The option agreement tracks the core deal points that were set forth in the previously approved letter of intent for the transaction. The main contract provision that is for amendment is that US Bank is proposing to amend is to notify the city on or before November 17th, 2023 of its decision to close either between December 4th, 2023 and December 15th, 2023, or between January 12th, 2024 and January 26th, 2024. The previous agreement authorized by the City Council on August 22nd, 2023 set the closing no sooner than 10 business days from the date of the city's preliminary exercise notice and no later than the expiration of the option term 30 days after the contingency date.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and read the motion, if you like.
I move to authorize the mayor to sign the option agreement as amended with US Bank National Association as seller and the city of Monroe as buyer for real estate or real property identified by tax parcel number 00517-4019-00600.
We have a motion from Councilmember Davis, a second from Councilmember Gamble for motion two as shown on the screen and read into the record. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Unless there is objection, there is no business this evening, further this evening. We are adjourned. We are adjourned.
Great night.
See you, Zach.
Good night, Mr. Mayor. Good night, council.
Did you